Hello and welcome to this tutorial on using MP3 SoundStream. When you download the product, just click the executable file and this is what it will look like. Just click on the next, accept the agreement, click next. I like to put it in program files. I like to leave all those as default and then just install. Once your program has finished installing, just click the finish and have the launch MP3 SoundStream ticked. You'll notice some tips come up. You can read them as you go. You can untick this box so as not to show them. And the first thing we have to do is unlock. So just click on the unlock. You'll notice this unlock screen pops up. Just put in the unlock code that we gave you in the download. Once you've unlocked, you'll notice it comes up as full version and the current version is 1.27. Next thing we want to do is just go to options. You'll notice it talks to you, so we don't want it to do that. So we go to interface and just untick play sounds. Go OK. Then normally what I would do is restart it and that will get rid of the sounds in there. Next thing we do is we go to options and you can decide whether you want it to go to your desktop or to a specific folder. I like it to go to a specific folder depending on what I'm making. And as you can see here, I'm going to create a web page using front page. So I want my files to go into this area. And so I'm actually going to put my files in here. Now the thing to remember when you're doing streaming audio is that your file system is very important. So wherever you're running your files from, you need to also have the controllers in that same folder. So I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Next thing we need is go to the there and we want it run by a controller. We can then pick our controllers and these all show up in your software. Now if you want to add more controllers, you simply go and download the controllers from the site, unzip them and place them in your controllers folder. And so here they are here. Might look a little bit different. You can click on these to view the controllers and we can just download them. And here they are and we just go extract files. Go next. And we want to put them in that MP3 SoundStream folder. And we want to put them in controllers. And just go extract. And we'll cancel this. If we now go to our folders, we see we've got those extra controllers in there. I personally like this one, so I'm going to choose that. Then the instructions, we usually use initially stopped play sound once. However, you can also choose from these other options. Colors, we usually designate this in our website, so we don't need that. And so it's just a matter of clicking on OK. Now all we need to do is go and pick an audio file. And I'm just going to choose a music file for this one. So let's have a look at it. And as you can see, this one's 4 MB. So we'll just go open. And then it's just a matter of hitting the go. Now it's going to pull the information out of the audio file. And I like to do that in the web page itself. So I'm going to delete all that and then just go OK. And it'll compress the whole thing and create the streaming files for you. So here it is. It's created 3 files for you. A HTML file. And these are the 2 button files. The 1S is the button file and the 1D is the actual audio. Now if you weren't putting it in front page and you were using some other program, you can use this grab. So just by clicking on the grab, you can then paste the code into a notepad and then manipulate it from there. However, we don't have to do that because we're going to put them in our web page here. You can also launch the output to try it out. Now each time we create a new file, it gives it a new number. So it keeps them all separated, and this makes it a lot easier to find if you misplace it. So we'll use this number 2 this time in our demonstration. And so now if we go in here and refresh our file in front page, so here are the files now in our folder. Now if we open this file, you can see it shows us the folder, and then we can actually go in and get the code directly out of there, and it's very basic code. Now one trick is, if you wanted to load this on a different server to the one you're going to use, you can use a URL instead. So let's say I was going to load it on Mp3 SoundStream, but I was storing the file in mydomain.com/audio. This will drag the file from a different server. Now notice you need to put it in 2 places. This top one is for Internet Explorer, this bottom one is for all the other browsers. So I'll just get rid of that. So here I've just made a very simple web page, and all we have to do is open up this HTML file, copy this code. You can use the P tags if you want. Just go Control-C, and then what we're going to do is just get rid of that, and I like to put in some X's because it lets me see in the code where I want to actually put my audio. And here are those X's here, so we just go Control-V, which is paste, and as you can see here now, we've got our audio, and so we can then drag it around, move it wherever we want. If we go preview, here we can see our audio. If we click on it, it will play, and that works great. Now, as I said, it's very important that you have these 2 files, the D and the S, in the same folder as the page that you want to put your audio in. This is where most people get it mixed up. They put in the code and then they don't see the player because they haven't got these 2 in the same place as the page. So I've just created an audio folder here, and I'll just drag that one in and the other one, and we could actually delete this HTML file now. So if we preview that, you'll notice we can't see it. So what we would have to do is reference the file to where the audio is. And so here we just put in audio. So referencing your files is very important. And if we now go to preview, we'll see they're there. Now, depending on which controller you're using, you can also then change them around a little bit. So you'll notice here that it has the size of the file here, 250 by 35. You could actually change the size of the file. Now obviously it's best to use a calculator, so let's say 250. So we want to add, say, 50% to it. So it's 312.15. Now when you're doing this changes in size, make sure you do it in both places. So I did 312 by 52, and I just used the calculator to keep it in the same area. And so make sure you do it up the top here as well. So you notice I put it up here because this is, again, this is for Internet Explorer and this is for all the others. So if then we do a preview, you'll now see the player's a lot bigger. You can also make it smaller. There are lots of other little tips and tricks you can do. We've listed them on our site. But that's basically the whole process of adding streaming audio to your website. As you remember, when we added that file, it was around 4 megabyte, and Mp3 SoundStream has now crunched that down to a 613 KB file. So it's reduced the size of the file dramatically, which means you're going to save a lot on bandwidth. My name's Quentin Brown from Mp3 SoundStream, hoping you enjoyed this short tutorial on how to use Mp3 SoundStream.